But when I came home, I discovered a crime scene. I didn't know that it was a crime scene at first. I came into my house, the front door was open, which I thought was odd, but also the front door lock didn't quite work, so maybe someone didn't lock it all the way and the wind blew it open, I thought. And then I looked around, everything looked normal, I got changed, I took a shower, and I found blood in the sink in my bathroom. And I thought, that's weird, it's a little bit of blood. Am I bleeding? I just got my ears pierced. Am I bleeding? No. Where'd that come from? I don't know, it must be nothing. It's just a few drops of blood. Take a shower, do my thing, change, blow dry my hair, and that's when I noticed that there was poop left in the toilet in the second bathroom in the cottage. And that, to me, struck me as very odd, because my two Italian roommates, whose bathroom this was, they were meticulous cleaners. They would not have left something like that in their bathroom. And I immediately got chills. I immediately thought that someone was in the house with me, and I immediately left. I went back to Raffaele's apartment. I explained to him what I had seen, and he said, you should get in touch with your roommates. Maybe they know what's going on. And so I called them. I called Laura, no answer. I called Meredith, no answer. I called Filomena. Finally, someone answers. She tells me to go back home and double check that nothing bad had happened. She hadn't been home that night, Laura hadn't been home that night. It must have only been Meredith, but no one knew where Meredith was. So I go home with Raffaele. I don't know how to call the cops or anything like this at the time. I come home and I take a better look around. And opening the door into the bedroom of Laura, I notice that everything's fine, everything's perfect, bedspread perfectly neat. I go into the bedroom with Filomena, and it is a wreck. The entire place is strewn, everything is everywhere. There's glass, there's a window broken, but at the same time, there's her laptop right on the counter, and it seems like everything's there, and Laura's room was fine, and my room was fine, and the TV's still in the living room, so what's going on? And I finally go and try to look in Meredith's room. Meredith's room would not open. I knocked, I called, and no one answered. So I asked Raffaele to try to kick the door down. He tried, he wasn't able to kick it down, it was locked. So he called the cops. And to make a long story short, I guess, there's been a lot of talk about this case over the past, it's over 10 years now. This case made international headlines for over 10 years. And it wasn't just an every once in a while kind of headline. There was periods of time where it was every single day. For all of that media attention, all of that scrutiny, what I find interesting about this case is that very few people know what actually happened, who actually did it. And that's because the story of the murder of Meredith Kircher has not been widely shared. At the same time that I was living my life in Perugia and having a good time, another story was unfolding in the shadows. And that was that a young man who grew up in Perugia in a foster family had recently been kicked out for having stolen from his foster family. And he was a bit on a downward spiral. He was breaking and entering, he was